and sub-rule 6, providing a period of only 12 days to deal with and dispose of impeachment of the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. I should add, it's also the one that applies to impeachment of the President. Lord, the Supreme Court, in the case of the Cabinet Secretary of Health, regarding public participation. So the issue we will be arguing is that this standing order providing for that drastic time limit within which public participation in terms of the guidelines by the Supreme Court. I am deliberately not going into those guidelines at this stage, just pointing out. We will be saying that the 12 days limitation is in head-on collision with Article 50 of our Constitution. That grants every person the right to a fair trial by...
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, fellow Kenyans, welcome to MJR. And just as it is written by Alex Haley in his book, The Roots, the major character in that book, Kunta Kinte, one day said, after he had been taken into slavery in the Western world, one day he had tried to escape many times from his slave master. And he said that he should rather die on the run than to die on his knees. That is what we are seeing with the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. He, wherever he is, personally understands political processes. And he knows very well that the end result of all these impeachment thing was predetermined before the plan was initiated. The architects had looked into all possible headwinds and challenges that may arise along the way during the execution of these. And they also came up with mechanisms on how to encounter those hurdles in any event they arise along the way. They had known what they are going to do, and you saw how the process was rushed during the mentioning of the motion and on the public participation process, and how Rigathi Gachagua was allowed to come to explain himself, and the voting and everything. And now as we speak, the duration which is allowed constitutionally for the Senate, or for the National Assembly Speaker to write to Senate Speaker informing him about that motion was done so quick that raised the eyebrows. And even the Senate, when the letter landed to them, they executed that matter very quickly with less time as it is expected. So Rigathi Gachagua's lawyers has moved to court. Rigathi Gachagua went to court to appeal to the judiciary to allow Chief Justice Martha Koome to lead the three-judge bench on hearing this case. They are so determined, so confident that the whole process was marred by illegalities. It did not follow the due process. There were a lot of loopholes, constitutionally speaking, that will render this case illegal, and that the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, will continue to serve Kenyans as their Deputy President. Lawyers, many of them, agrees that indeed members of parliament did not took time to follow the constitution to the letter. And if they followed it, they did it sketchily and in a very shoddy way. So there are hopes that when this case will land into the courts of law, the courts and the constitution will give a listening ear to Rigathi Gachagua, because he had tried to explain himself, but the members of parliament had no time to listen to him. Even if you go to the Senate and do your mathematics, because numbers don't lie, and assume that Rigathi Gachagua is in a position to convince all Mount Kenya senators to vote for him. And if I speak about Mount Kenya, I speak about regions which are perceived to be Kikuyus and Mount Kenya tribes dominated. Start with Tharaka Nithi, come to Embu, come to Meru, go to Kirinyaga, go to Laikipia, come to Nyeri, go to Muranga, go to Nyahururu, come to Kiambu, and go to Nakuru, and assume that 10 senators were to vote against the motion, and allow the 37 go yes, and give even Gachagua the nominated senators if they're allowed to vote. And I don't think if the nominated members of parliament do take votes, he will still lose that case. And if in case he loses, and that is why he ran to the courts, because that is where now his last hope is. Gachagua decided to fight to the last minute, and he knows that he's going to lose the battle. Now, President William Samoei Ruto, it is said that his inner circle are so confident that Gachagua will lose this. It is a lost cause for Gachagua, and the interview has started to go on to who will be the best person to replace Gachagua. And this person will be unveiled to Kenyans on the day of Mashujaa, that is the 20th day of October. That person's name will be known to Kenyans. I don't think whether it is true or false. And if we go with what Danson Omari said, that we've seen how impeachment processes has gone in this country, mentioning the governors and deputy governors' cases, we can say that there are still some hopes. There is oasis in the desert for Gachagua and his allies. There is still pulse on this case, because he is saying that the neutralism within the judiciary will elongate this legal process that will see Gachagua last longer in the office, as it was in the case of Martin Wambora of Embu during his term as governor, when he was impeached more than 2 times, and the Senate confirmed at last, and he went to court, and he survived 10 years. We are now having the Kawira Mwangaza case, the governor of Meru, whom she was impeached 3 times, and lastly the Senate upheld her impeachment, and the case is now in court, and she's in the office serving, and we don't know how long this case will take. But I want to tell these people, for Gachagua's case is a bit different. It would be compared to Mike Sonko's case and Babayao's case, because those were leaders whom the state was behind their ouster. So if the state is behind Gachagua's ouster, as we are confident they are, even the courts will not stop that. The judges have been bought, the plans have been made, and everything will be stage managed. If Raila Odinga, who had the best legal minds during the 2022 presidential election petition, led by Philip Murgor, James Agrebob Orengo, Tiende Amolo, and other senior counsel, lost their case against William Ruto's legal team, I believe that it is high time Gachagua prepare himself. But I know he's prepared. He knows that he's just trying to fight. He doesn't want to die on his knees. He wants to die on the run. And that is why he is keeping on this fight. I wish him all the best. Kenyans wish him all the best. And as it is said, may the best team win. We Kenyans, we know we have less to do on this. Our part was public participation, and it was shoddily done. It was rushed because the people in power wanted their way. Thank you, and may God bless you.